some level of fees and revenues to county governments so that they can balance off their budget. A good governor, at any given time, you have to plan. I mean, something that was purely developed is planning. The issue of systems like IFMIS, because EGPA is same as IFMIS, which has been in existence, and I've never had complaints. The law is very clear. PFM Act is very clear. It prescribes that it is the role of National Treasury, not the Ministry of Defense, Finance, but the National Treasury with its own standalone act, which is given mandate to set the economic policy and manage the economic environment of the country. For the two levels, the power has been given to the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury, to develop and prescribe a system that is able to manage the resources of the country, both in the two levels. The only ministry that has a law. I'm reflecting on the provision, on the tweet by Sakaja. When it comes to matters finance, Treasury Act and PFM Act, and even I think I will need to check on the Constitution, which has mentioned that office of the National Treasury. They are the one to generate revenue, provide mechanism or proposals to assembly or now to share the revenues, and of course also they have to prescribe a system that is going to ensure efficient and effective use of resources. What the Cabinet Secretary of National Treasury is proposing on the e-procurement, EGB, listening to the pros, they are the best. Like if it's going to isolate or sort out the messes that have been there in the market, because they have not the benchmark of prices has never been there. People were on their free will. You could come with your product like that pen of yours and you could sell at 200 and nobody cares, or even 2,000 and nobody cares. There was a story of a wheelbarrow sometimes back. This system is going to pick the prices, to be sensitive on the prices in the market and provide the adjustments, either on inflation or interest on the late payments, all that. It will give that one. And therefore, it reduces the engagement of the procuring entity with the markets or interference with it, because it will be standalone. If it is fuel, you even don't need to procure now. Government, will have to have a framework with the fuel suppliers and what EPRA has provided, and the end objective is to minimize or undertake savings. And therefore, what we've been budgeting, what people have had talk about budgeted corruption, I think this is the right time to identify. What I only, and I have to be honest, disagree with my fellow CPM body, is I've yet to see whether he has provided a roadmap of system migration. Mm-hmm. That is all.
That's exactly what
the issue is about training. Now we want to change now. What I'm not aware, because maybe I've not been active on it.
You've served in the county as
yes. Whenever there's a system issue, and of course I'm not an IT, but what I know, whenever you're proposing a new system, there should be a way you can pair together or system run. You create an environment of a test run so that you have the viability or pick on the challenges and then remove. Because by now, if the law or the circular was saying by 1st July, I just found it this week, was it 2 days, that now the budget has been fully uploaded. Remember, we are almost at the tail end of the first quarter. We've not spent, we've not given services. So those are the issues, and I had the other day Cabinet Secretary complaining that there are people in the system who are not, or who are supporting. What I need to encourage my brother, by now, let's see action which have been taken. If there's an individual...
A level of mistrust or a disconnect between the national government.
Fred Ndimuli, you are a student of a change. Always when there's a change, there is what you call resistance. Because some systems, or some people have stayed in a line of a given system or a conveyor belt, there is a way they have developed their livelihoods. But whenever you shift and change, that person immediately develops the cold of being misplaced. They have always, it is nature on any system you introduce. But the essence of training over time, maybe developing and running, you pair the two systems to run and reflect, look at the results until and when the users, because the system is as good as the users. That is not, but the benefits of this system to me, it will serve the big questions Kenyans have been asking.
Yes.
about managing corruption. It's not another loan to say EACC are there, whereas the system is here are so porous and fagulative.
The Council of Governors is complaining about lack of consultation and lack of alignment.
What I'm seeing, there have been a lot of trainings. I'm seeing a lot of trainings going on, so I don't know which other consolation is there.
Because we're just hearing the president saying we're not going back on this thing. Should that be the way?
And as he's going, why haven't they complained? Why I never saw them complaining about EVMIS? Why now this one?
Fred, I think that we tend always to enjoy a lot of current affairs than asking the strategic questions. We can't have a country that is every day's current affairs. Sakaja is being impeached. This is not. Let's ask the serious questions why we are where we are. I'll start with the issue of absorbing the UHC doctors to be taken to the county, isn't it? There's a mistake we made. The devolution of health was a mistake. Health is a public good, and the public good, devolving it is hard. Like now, you had the argument between Trump and Andrew Cuomo during the COVID-19, where there are responsibilities that this US state government, the federal government, still continues to play into the other state governments within the US. I'm sure they don't want a comparison, but if you copied the US constitution,